Will the third temple be built? If so, where and when? And if not, why has the idea of its construction persisted for so long? Today, we're going to explore these questions and more as we continue our series on the greatest biblical mysteries. Welcome to the channel. What are the chances that the third temple will really be built one day? And how did the concept take root in the first place? To find the answers, let's take a closer look at the history of the Jewish temple. In the Old Testament, the first temple was built by King Solomon, the son of David, approximately 957 BCE. This magnificent structure stood for almost 400 years until it was destroyed by the Babylonians in 586 BCE during the reign of King Nebuchadnezzar II. The destruction of the temple marked a significant event known as the Babylonian exile, during which many Jews were taken captive to Babylon. After the exile, the Jews were allowed to return to Judah, and in 516 BCE, they began the construction of a new temple on the same site where the first temple once stood. This new structure became known as the Second Temple. One interesting fact about the Second Temple is that it underwent major renovations and expansions under the rule of King Herod the Great, who reigned from 37 to 4 BCE. These renovations turned the temple into a magnificent structure with a large court for Gentiles and other notable features. However, it didn't last forever. In 66 CE, a revolt against the Romans broke out, leading to the siege of Jerusalem and the destruction of the Second Temple by the Roman general Titus in 70 CE. Only a small portion of the temple wall survived, which is now known as the Western Wall or Wailing Wall. It's considered the holiest site in Judaism because it's the only part of the Second Temple still standing. Since then, Jewish people have been looking forward to the construction of the Third Temple, which they believe will be built after the Messiah's arrival. So when will this happen? What do the prophets say? Let's take a look at some key biblical passages related to the building of the Third Temple. First, we'll consider Ezekiel chapters 40 through 48, which describe the measurements of the future temple and its courts. In these chapters, the prophet Ezekiel is taken in a vision to a valley near the Temple Mount and instructed to measure the temple and its surrounding areas. Ezekiel sees a magnificent structure with a courtyard, a hall, a sanctuary, and an inner sanctuary where God's presence will dwell. According to these prophecies, the third temple will be smaller than the first two, covering only a fraction of their land. Another crucial detail mentioned by Ezekiel is that the temple will be built not only for the people of Israel, but also for all nations, reflecting a universal message of God's love and salvation. Next, we come to Daniel chapter 9, which contains a prophecy about the Messiah's first coming. In this chapter, the prophet Daniel is praying for the restoration of Jerusalem and its temple when the angel Gabriel appears to him and reveals important information about the Messiah's identity. Gabriel tells Daniel that the Messiah will be cut off, but not for himself. He will make a covenant with many for 1 week, but he will break it and ultimately be taken away with none helping him. While this passage doesn't directly address the construction of the Third Temple, it implies that the Messiah's ministry will be closely linked to the temple and its restoration. Finally, we turn to Revelation chapters 11, where the prophet John describes the fate of two witnesses during the tribulation period. In Revelation 11, John sees two witnesses prophesying for 1,260 days, which equals 3 years and 45 days. During their ministry, the Antichrist will order their murder, but after 3.5 days, they will be raised from the dead. Then the two witnesses will ascend to heaven in the sight of their enemies. Some believe that these witnesses could be Moses and Elijah, who are mentioned in the Old Testament as individuals who will return before the Messiah's coming. In Revelation 11:1, John is instructed to measure the temple of God, the altar, and those worshiping there, suggesting that the third temple will exist during the time of the Antichrist. So what do these prophecies tell us about the timing of the third temple's construction? Some believe that the temple will be rebuilt before the Messiah's second coming, while others think it will happen during the tribulation period. Others believe that the prophecies don't provide a clear timeline and that the temple may be rebuilt at any point in the future. Now let's talk about the location of the third temple. According to Jewish tradition, it will be built on the same site as the previous two temples on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. This belief is based on various biblical passages, including Deuteronomy 12:5, where Moses instructs the Israelites to build their altar on the mountain, where God's name is invoked, indicating that the temple should be built on a prominent religious site. Additionally, Jesus taught his disciples to pray for the temple's restoration in Matthew 23:37, saying, "O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the one who kills the prophets and stones those who are sent to her. How often I wanted to gather your children together as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings, but you were not willing." In this passage, Jesus clearly identifies the temple as a key element in the Jewish religious tradition and expresses his desire for its restoration. However, the Temple Mount is currently one of the most contentious religious sites in the world, housing both the Dome of the Rock and Al-Aqsa Mosque, which are holy sites in Islam. Any attempt to rebuild the temple on this site would likely lead to major conflicts with the Muslim world. Let's also address another important question. What would the construction of the third temple actually mean? For Orthodox Jews, it would mean the restoration of the sacrificial system and the reestablishment of worship as described in the Torah. On the other hand, many Christians believe that the third temple will serve as a reminder of the new covenant established through Jesus' sacrifice, and that it won't function as a place of animal sacrifices. Additionally, the existence of the third temple would significantly impact the Islamic world due to its proximity to the Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock. Any disruption to the status quo could potentially lead to major conflicts in the region. As we approach the conclusion of this journey into the realm of biblical mysteries, we're left with profound questions about the future of the Jewish people and the world. Will the third temple ever be built? And if so, what will its construction signify for different religions and the global community? These are complex issues with far-reaching implications that touch on faith, history, and the very essence of religious devotion. As we reflect on the enduring significance of the Third Temple, let's remember to approach these topics with sensitivity and respect for diverse beliefs. After all, the legacy of the temple extends beyond mere bricks and mortar, encompassing deep spiritual and cultural values for countless people around the world. What do you think about the Third Temple? Will it be built one day? And if so, when and how? What do you think it will mean for Jews, Christians, and Muslims? Share your thoughts and join the conversation. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content. Also, be sure to stay tuned for our upcoming video on the Shroud of Turin, another fascinating biblical artifact that continues to captivate and intrigue people worldwide. Thank you for watching and joining us on this exploration of faith, history, and the enduring mysteries of the past. Until next time, may your journey through life be filled with wonder, discovery, and a deep appreciation for the rich tapestry of human experience. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you want to see more videos like this. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you want to see more videos like this.